Beast, there is a question I must ask of you.
You wonder if we are on the right side.
She is someone I love, as I would love a sister.
Of course. But there is far more at stake here, Aurora. Jean has committed no crime, has injured no one. Yet, we are asked to allow her to be destroyed to prevent the possible future crimes of another.
But she has given Jean a trial by combat.
Such a trial is no contest of reason. It is a war. A position mocks justice. Lilandra is wrong.
This is yeah.
On and on.
This is a really big topic. Okay, folks, welcome to another episode of GospelX, the Gospel According to the X-Men. My name is Jonathan. This is Henry. We're so glad that you can join us today as we continue our sub-series of a greater series called the Dark Phoenix Saga, and this is the final episode. So we just
last episode.
Yeah. So we just showed you a brief little clip of a dialogue between Gambit and Wolverine and Storm and Beast about the whole idea of the morality of. Okay, take it away, Henry. What are we talking about?
Well, basically, they're faced with a choice here: is that the Phoenix can destroy entire star systems. Lilandra and the Shi'ar Empire said that is basically too great of a risk. We have to go and sacrifice one innocent person in order to save multitudes of maybe billions of other people, of innocent people. And she's willing to make that tough choice to force that decision on Jean, say that you have to go and die in order to save these people. But the X-Men disagree. They say that that is an immoral decision. It is absolutely never right to go and just sacrifice an innocent person to save other people. Morally, it's wrong to make that choice. This is where we took that clip from. They go and the X-Men fight the Royal Guard in the episode. They get beaten quite handily. And then afterwards, at the end of the episode, Jean actually does sacrifice herself, puts herself in the open, becomes vulnerable, and the Shi'ar destroy her, which solves the Dark Phoenix crisis. There's a little resurrection at the very end there, but we're just going to talk a little about that morality issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
To
so
sacrifice a person.
Right. You and I had quite an extensive chat before this, and we were referring to other movies as well. But basically, we were saying that is it morally right for these sacrifices to proceed, like to sacrifice one person for the greater good of many, right? And what have we concluded, Henry, for your in this?
One of the things that we talked about was that the optics of it change depending on the situation. For example, Lilandra wants to go in order to prevent possible future calamity, possible future deaths, to just destroy her now. But the X-Men believe that's immoral because they haven't explored all the other alternatives to go and try to save Jean's life before destroying her.
So there were two things that were absent, right? Or not absent, but two notable things that convinced the X-Men that it was immoral. Number one is that the destruction is just a possibility. It wasn't for sure, it was just a possibility. And second, the X-Men said that not all options are on the table right now. We only have one option. Where are the other ones, right? And they firmly believe that not all options were explored.
At the very beginning of the episode, they had contained the Phoenix inside of Jean's mind. They had kind of trapped her.
Yeah.
And so they gave themselves a little bit of breathing room to go and explore the other options. And they said it's not right that someone can just go up and say, because of the possibility of the Phoenix breaking free, we're going to have to destroy Jean right now as the first option. So that's
right.
Why it was immoral in their case.
Yeah.
Minds.
So, and then we were alluding to some other movies, right? Like Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mission Impossible.
And 24, the series. We realized that, there are always options. And then what results when it comes down to a point of sacrificing somebody is when all options are exhausted. And like you said, it depends on the circumstance where the doom is imminent.
You never do it. You never do it as the first option. And the thing about these moral dilemmas and all these shows, and why do they keep popping up over and over again, is because it tests the hero's resolve. It tests you truly find out what is the character of these heroes when you have to go and make that difficult choice. And the reason why they keep popping up all the time is because you know what the right choice is. Everybody knows what the right choice is. It is better to sacrifice one person in order to save everybody else than to just morally stick to your guns, not do this, and everybody ends up dying. That's the right choice, but the dilemma is, how far is the hero going to wait till the last second to explore every possibility before making that choice?
And interesting enough is that all these movies and shows, we as the audience admire the protagonist to actually stay to their guns and actually try to explore every single opportunity, every option. We actually admire that instead of going directly to the obvious, to the obvious choice, right? And so, which, that's why Mission Impossible series is still alive, is because of that dilemma.
He faces that choice every movie, okay?
Every episode, every movie, right? And every successive movie is always that choice, right?
And the running.
Yeah, and the reason why it's 2 hours is because he is exploring every option. So from a Christian perspective, Jonathan, how about you give us what does this have to do with anything about? Well, you know what? For the keeners out there who are Christian, you probably would think, well, Jesus made the sacrifice, right? Jesus made the ultimate sacrifice, and it was moral, right? And he made the choice, just like Gene and just like Luther in the Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah.
And then he's so he made the choice. Were all options on the table before that? And was doom imminent? And for those keeners out there, I think you yourself, if you read your Bibles enough, there is. Throughout the entire scriptures, we know that God explored every single option, right? He tried it with Adam in the beginning. He tried it with the Israelites. He tried it with all the kings. He tried it with all the judges and then kings and then prophets, etc. And it all failed. All the options failed. And then death was imminent. Well, everyone dies, right? So he knew that was imminent all the time. And so that was sure. It's not just like the Shi'ar where they thought it was potential or the possibility. No, this is for sure. Death is a reality and it's certain. And so to those questions of folks who think that, that is Jesus' sacrifice moral or immoral? Well, let's just say that all the options were explored.
Every single one. I mean, it brings me back to that scene in the Garden of Gethsemane when Jesus literally asked God, is there any other way? Any other way? And God said, no, this is the only way.
Yeah, only way. Yeah, any other way to take this cup away from me, right? And nope, this is the only way, the only solution to this problem of ours. And so that human beings do not have this way out of death and not die, right, and have eternal life at the end. So for those folks, if you are a Christian out there and you realize that God, just like Ethan Hunt and XMen, I'm just laughing because we're using this as a metaphor for spiritual matters, and then God explored all options with all peoples. And he decided ultimately that, he has to do it through Jesus in his son and die for everyone. And that was final. And he rose, and we all know the story. And that's why we celebrate Christmas and Easter. It's just this story. So what a coincidence, eh? Christmas is...
What a coincidence. At the very end of the episode, Jean died, and then she got
resurrected. Yeah,
it's one of those scenes, it has multiple layers of meaning.
Yeah, how dare the Bible steal a story from the XMen? Anyway,
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Anyway, so yeah, so that's it. I think you're right. I think this has become a more of a philosophical Gospel X, but I think also it applies to a lot of our other dilemmas that we face. Is that the ultimate lesson is that we need to explore all options and not just
life is innocent. Life is precious, and it is never acceptable to not explore those options and sacrifice people. For example, hey, like very recently I heard the whole COVID thing we're going through. People are like, we shouldn't shut down the businesses, we shouldn't have to wear masks, we should protect freedom. Only a couple of people are going to die, very small percentage.
Yeah.
No, like that is not the first option, right?
Yeah.
People dying is always the last option. People come first.
Well, I heard even this brutal comment where, oh, it's just the elderly. They're going to die anyway. And no, every human per person is precious and and we believe that they're all created in God's image. And so we're right. If all options are explored, if there is no other way, and it is given by the consent of the individual, then we have
then it is more.
Then when it's more, and then we have another conversation to have, right? But when there's no when no options are explored yet, not given by the consent of the individual, and we're not even sure if the outcome is going to be a possibility, it's just a mere possibility, then it's not moral. All right. Anything else?
I think we're all good here.
Yeah, this was a pretty good one. All right, compared to some other episodes that we were talking about. Well, thank you everyone for joining us with another Gospel X, the Gospel according to X-Men. Again, my name is Jonathan. This is Henry. If you have any questions or would like to ring us or just contact us, feel free to visit us at companyofdisciples.com. Till next time, have a blessed week.